Hi again, it's Claudia from We're Just Two Sisters, and someone had asked me for some ideas about, so now that I've learned how to make a shiny glossy torn out of a magazine photo look vintage, what do I do with it? So there's a lot of different things that you can do with these photos. Obviously use them in your mixed media, use them in your journals, make cards, tags, all kinds of different things with them. But I thought I'd show you real quickly how I threw together just a journal cover using one of the photos that we learned how to make vintage in a previous video. So let's check it out. So I went ahead and grabbed like a bunch of stuff. I just willy-nilly grabbed something from my scrap material, from my lace in my little trinket drawer. I had some little pieces of paper, and so forth. So I just grabbed a combination of things and thought that I'd show you how I kind of put these together. So I start off, get my photo and I think, okay, in my head, so who are these lovely people? And maybe they just got married. Maybe it's their, 30th wedding anniversary. Who knows? I mean, they look super happy and they look like they're in love. So I kind of wanted to make this a fun collage of things that I might fit the photo. So I would start off here with a piece of material. I decided to use this piece of burlap. And then on the burlap, I started to layer things. I really liked this lace. I took a little piece of vellum here and kind of tore off the edge of it. But I'm going to put that in the background, maybe put the ribbon on top of it here. And again, right now, just kind of for placement. And then I thought, oh, this is kind of cool. It's, I like the paper. And when I used this frame to go over this, I noticed that there was some see-through here. And if I pulled it all the way down here, there was some see-through here. So I decided to use this little piece of paper down here. And I'm going to kind of make it go off the edge like that. So I'm going to place that just here like this. And I also thought, well, I want to kind of tie that in on the top. So I'm going to put that little piece of paper there. And then this little piece of lace, I thought really, kind of captured the moment here in this photograph. So I'm just going to kind of put it together like that. I will staple that or sew it. But I thought this would look really nice, just kind of, hanging off the corner of this and making it look even more vintage. And then I found these little flowers that I'm going to add over here in the corner, along with these pretty little leaves, just to kind of give it some depth and some texture. So just kind of place those, wherever you'd like to. And then I made this little tiny bow out of some pretty gold ribbon that I'm going to place up here at the top. And then last but not least, I have one of those little bulb clips, and I'm going to attach this pretty little heart to it, and I'm going to attach that then to the lace and add that element there. So I'm going to go ahead and go put all of this together, and I hope you've been inspired. I'll come back and show you the finished product. Thanks. I thought I would show you quickly how to put all this together. It occurred to me that there may be some folks that are kind of new at this, and so I thought I would just show you how to put all this together. I've already applied a little strip of Fabrifix to the burlap, and I'm just going to put things in place right now. I don't really want to glue them down like thoroughly. I just want to have them hold on well. So I got to kind of layer this in the order that I took it off. So again, I'm going to take the Fabrifix. I kind of want to put this right there. So I'm just going to put a dab of Fabrifix all the way across here. This one's getting a little bit low, so I love this stuff. It works really well to adhere paper and to adhere cloth together. It's just an all-purpose, really long holding glue. I could have ironed that ribbon first, but I kind of like the way it's gonna lay on there. And again, I don't want to worry too much about it being all the way glued down yet. The next thing I'm going to do is put my photograph, and I want to kind of place it to where I have some good design and some good balance there. So again, I'm just going to add some Fabrifix to the back of this. Not a lot, just enough to kind of stick it down in the middle, because I'm actually going to sew this on. So I'm just going to make a little flower on there, just enough to tack it down. And I'm going to add this right here. The next element that I want to add is my frame. I want to get kind of a feel for where that's going to go. Make sure that it's right side up. And I realized too that, oh yeah, I was going to put that little paper under here. Well, that's why you don't do all the edges, because one of the things I noticed on here when I put the frame on was that there's some down here that shows through. So I'm actually going to put this little piece of paper. Oh, I did that differently. And luckily with Fabrifix, you can actually pull it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull that up a little bit since I gave myself enough time. I'm going to put that under there, put my picture back down. Now when I put my frame on, not only can I have some hanging over, but I've covered up that little space in there that was bothering me for some reason. So now I'm going to take the Fabrifix, I'm going to put that on the back of the little frame. And again, mine is almost empty, but that's okay. I have a new one coming. Thank God for Amazon. I'm going to just put some there because I am going to try to do a few things underneath that. I'm going to kind of position it. Do I want that to show? I think I've decided that now I don't, but I definitely want that bird to show. But I also don't want to cover up their faces. So I'm just going to find the right spot where I can get everything that I want. And I'm okay with that hanging over the edge there. It kind of is going to tie into this piece, which is going to go up here. And again, the reason you do not glue down all your edges is because you're going to want to tuck some things in. Now this one turned out to be a little too big, so I'm just going to tear it off. And now I can fix it in there. Do I want it under the ribbon? Yeah, I think I do. So again, Fabrifix. Wish I had a little device that held this upside down, but I don't. So I'm just going to put a little bit on here. And again, I'm going to go back and fix all these up when I'm finished. In the meantime, and I want the little straight edge to be at the bottom so you can't really see it. So I'm going to tuck that under the ribbon. And now I've got this. Now the other thing you could do too is you could you know, distress the edges of this paper. I can go ahead and do that when I'm finished here, but I wanted to get through this relatively quickly for you. So the next thing I'm going to glue on here is this little piece of lace, and I'm going to do this with it, and I'm going to go staple it real quick. Hold on. Hope that was quick. I should have done that before, but as you can see, I stapled it just loosely so that it can lay flat, but at the same time, I'll still be able to manipulate it a little bit. And that was kind of the look that I was going for. And again, you can pull this up quite a bit. I'm going to go ahead and apply quite a bit of glue to this one just because I want it to stick down good. There we go. Sorry about that. And I'm going to pull this up enough to tuck it nicely underneath there. I want to fan it out just a little bit. And then what I normally do is I'll grab one of my little clamps because I want that to be nice and tight. I'll just clamp that there for a little while, and so that will dry nicely. Move my ribbon out of there. Come on. There we go. And let that dry. And then these I'm going to put on after I sew. So I'm going to sew. So I'm going to stop for a moment and go do a little bit of sewing, and I'll be back in just a second. So I'm back. I did a little bit of sewing. I thought I would show you that up close. So what I sewed here was all the way around the frame, and then all the way around the frame on the outside. And if you remember, we kind of tacked this stuff on so it would be, you know, held in place while I sewed. Now it's not going anywhere for sure. And you can kind of see on the back, you know, where the two stitches are. And I used a number 3 zigzag stitch on that. I also went ahead and distressed the edges of some of the paper here. Because we didn't glue those all the way down, we just kind of tacked them with the Fabrifix. It was easy to just pull up. And I actually like these to kind of be loose. And over here, I kind of even feathered them a little bit. I just like that look. As you can see, although we did glue that a little bit and clamp it down, underneath the frame, with the frame being sewn all the way around, it just really holds it really tightly in place. So the finishing touches on this one are pretty easy. I'm going to take the Fabrifix and I'm going to start with the leaves. They're going to be kind of underneath. Decide which side I want. I think I'm going to go with this side up. So I'm just going to apply some of the Fabrifix here to the back of the leaves. And these are things that you want to be permanent. So as long as you have a good flat surface and no glue is showing over the edge, which is not something that I personally like very much, you can just place them, you know, as you want them and go ahead and press them down. Use this other leaf. Go ahead and add some Fabrifix to that. Again, in a flat surface so that it's not hanging over the edge. And if in fact it is, just wipe a little bit off of it with your finger. And I always have my little trusty cloth here to wipe my fingers on. And then just place that leaf wherever you might like it. I think I kind of like that configuration. And then these leaves, now you're going to want to make sure that you have a pretty good flat surface. Sometimes you can take the flowers and open them up a little bit. These are actually going to sit on their sides. So I want them to just kind of have that look like they're dangling down. So I'll apply the Fabrifix to this side fairly liberally. And then I will just place them where I want to have them seen. So I think I kind of like that one there. Again, kind of, you know, find a flat side there that you like. Apply the Fabrifix. A nice little glob will hold it on well. And then just decide where you want to put it. I'm going to go like that. And then just let it sit and dry. This is kind of hard to clamp. You can clamp it. I keep a variety of different clamps on my workspace. This one would actually work. If you wanted to hold that down, just make sure that you get it nice and straight, and it's going to hold really well. I have another one here that I could use, that I could clamp this one down as well. Make sure these are flat on the inside. And if you clamp that down as well, it should hold pretty well. Oh, that doesn't work out too well because it's not going to sit right. But I'm just going to let that sit like that. I like the way it looks, and I feel fairly comfortable that it will dry that way. So the glue will adhere that way, and I like the way that looks. So then the next little thing I was going to add here is this pretty little bow. And once again, I'm going to adhere that with some Fabrifix, a nice little glob there in the middle that will also keep the bow tight. You know, just kind of wipe it off with your fingers, and then use your little towel to wipe your fingers off. And then I'm going to put this one up here at the top, just kind of at the top of the frame, just kind of give it balance. That one is very easy to clamp if you wanted to clamp it. But again, I'm confident that once that adheres and dries, it'll be very permanent and very strong on there. So the last little thing I wanted to do to this is to take this little clip, which I've attached this little charm to. This is called a bulb clip, safety pin kind of thing. And I'm just going to hook it right here to the lace and close it. They're a little bit tricky, but you know, once you get it, you got it. And then just let that dangle down like that. So the last thing that I am going to do with this one, I'm going to wait till it dries, but I'm going to go ahead and fringe the edges like you just saw me do. I purposely didn't cut them straight because I wanted the edges to be fringed. And with this burlap, it's super easy to do that. But anyway, that's the finished product. I hope you enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see what you create on your own. Thanks.